What's happening? I don't know if y'all can hear me right now. My shit just died. I had to double check it. All right, we got a little live going on. I know 619 just had his with Shinny. So I got a couple of them gonna be coming in here soon. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, we was doing a live recap with Somke. I haven't seen him quite in here yet. So we gonna yep, he said he coming. So we gonna as soon as he pops in, we gonna throw him in. But yeah, so last a couple days ago we did a we did a live with Amazon John and Jr. We wanted to just chop it up with somebody making their debut. A couple guys who were kind of familiar with what we do, but not not overly familiar. Not guys that have been to many events. So we tossing Somke on right now, and I know he's been to quite a few uh events. Ryu, what's happening, man? Yeah, it's I saw that live, bro. We did I threw City $5 and all of a sudden I just see my wife throw City 20. So he making bank off my bank account right now. And that's my wife right there, my beautiful, lovely wife. She's dope. But yeah, we chilling right now. So just back to back lives. I know what's his nuts? 619 will pop in here in a little bit too. So we just chilling right now. Uh, I love you too. So yeah, we doing it up. Um yeah. So but tonight's episode I wanted to chop it up a little bit with Somke because he's an OG. Like he's like one of the backbones of this entire group. Like I don't know if you guys know who he is, but he's the ref with the deep voice. Get off his neck. You know what I mean? I'm sure you've heard it. He has the cardio as key logo all the time. He's dope as fuck, and he's a staple of our community. He runs back and forth between Vegas and here in Mesa, and he refs for us. It's huge to try and ref an event, and work an event while you're also running behind the scenes. So when he shows up, I kind of hand it over to him and let him do his ref duties. And I got a couple other guys that help out. Zitro, shout out to Zitro, Blanco. Several of those guys help out a lot thoroughly in the cage. So that's pretty awesome of them. Let me see here. Where my belt line at Somke? Yeah, Somke, he's funny, man. He does his thing. Somke is very much appreciated, man. He holds it down here. He holds it down all the time. You know. So yeah, definitely. Yeah. Speaking of Somke, where is Somke? Link not working. Okay. Well, hold on a minute. We going. Oh, you know what? That may have been because when I shot it to him the first time, my shit disappeared. Try that one, bro. Just send it again. Um, yeah, but yeah, I accidentally closed out the screen, and I guess that needed a whole new link. Let's see. Rio, I ref one match that was stressful. He makes it look easy. Man, refing matches is stressful. Because not only are you sitting there, you have two human beings' safety in the palm of your hands. You got to pay attention and do your thing. But you have, more importantly, um, everybody looking. And you know what? I said more importantly, not more importantly, but more prevalent on some people's minds is in the background after the match, everything you do gets picked apart. And I think we've all been there, you know what I mean, into that situation to where you make a bad call. I've done it numerous times, you know what I mean? And there's my daughter. Kid soon. So yeah, what's happening, everybody? Yeah, we're waiting on Somke to pop in. Does anybody have any questions they want to hit me with? Yeah, he's still working on getting in here for whatever's going on. And that's my 7-year-old, Emma. I love you too, baby girl. So yeah, there's a family podcast today at this point. Yeah. So let's see here. I'm gonna throw this in here. We're gonna see if we can grab a couple other guests. So Scorpio was supposed to be on. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. Scorpio was supposed to be on, but he's not gonna make it. Um, there he is. There's the man of the day right there.
What up? What up?
What up, man? So yeah, I was covering for us for a couple minutes while we got down to business, but
Technical
So
difficulty.
yeah, you go, fam. So I actually closed the window out, had to jump back in like in the middle of the live, and had to jump back in. So it's a whole thing, which that's happened before. Because I got a like on the trackpad, if I like hit my finger the wrong way, it just swaps. Like I don't know what the fuck it does. It does
I
something.
just had to copy the link and then actually put the copied link into the browser, and it
Instead of
worked.
clicking it. Yeah. Okay. Good. 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 Well, I'd send you two different links actually. So the first one I sent, and then I accidentally closed the browser. So I'm assuming the
Mhm.
second was just a different link. That's probably what happened. So,
Gotcha.
yeah, just to recap a little bit for everybody. Somke here is the most prolific ref that we have in Street Beast West Coast. There's a couple other guys in the other branches. I know Wolverine refs a lot. And who's the Gimp? Gimp refs a lot in the scrapyard, I think. So,
No.
oh, not anymore.
Yeah, been gone for over a year.
Yeah, as you can tell, I don't really follow scrapyard.
Yeah. Scrapyard's got
Yeah.
Ron, Anomaly.
Oh, okay. Anomaly, dope, man. That
He's
dude's
dope.
cool as shit. I like him.
He's dope,
If you know Anomaly, he's 62 years old and still fucking people up, bro.
bro. He's a monster, man.
He is.
Hey, I appreciate it, Daniel. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
he is. Like, Samke, before we even get into it, bro, I just have to reiterate like how much we appreciate you in Street Beast West Coast. Like you go back and forth from Las Vegas to here and you hop in the cage and you do the damn thing every single day. And like Ryu mentioned, it's extremely tough to to the mentals that you would have to ref a match with no formal training. Like we learn this on the job. You know, and a lot of people don't understand it. You know, my 7-year-old daughter just said, "Keep it clean."
clean.
I got
Keep
to
it
watch my
clean.
mouth a little bit. Got to watch my mouth a little. My baby girl's on. So it's extremely tough to maintain the mentals when you're reffing, and it's not something we train to do. You know, you got how many matches would you say you've reffed at this point?
You got
I
to
mean, you've been
think.
to
I mean,
almost every one.
if we have, let's just say, if we have 9, 10 events out the year,
Mhm.
and let's just say, and we're doing bare minimums. Let's
Where
say
did you start?
15
Which one did you
fights.
start?
I started. My first match was Earthling 7 versus Mimo Silva. That was my first match.
That was like
Um,
11, maybe Street Beast West Coast 11, something like that.
that's like 7, 8, somewhere
7, 8.
between
Okay.
7 and 9. Somewhere between 7 and 9.
Okay, and I didn't mean to interrupt you. My apologies, but we're at
You good?
45, so you got at least 38, 39 events under your belt, something like that, probably. And I mean, that's if there's only 10 matches, it's 390. You've refed over 400 matches, bro. Damn near, I bet. Easy,
Wow.
easy, bro.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like that's over 400 matches, bro. That's insane. Like nobody else has touched that out here in Street Beast West Coast, and you show no signs of slowing down at all. None.
I try, man. I try.
Yeah.
You know, I definitely feel it.
Mhm.
Uh, being a fighter as well, bro. It's a similar experience. And when you are reffing for that many hours, it could be in some cases, because a lot of my fights ended, they didn't last too long. In a lot of cases, a full day of reffing can be more taxing than one fight.
Oh, let's not even say can be. I'm 100% in agreement that it is 100% more taxing. It's not. I mean, you got 6 minutes of exercise that you do, and then when you're reffing, you have you have all day. I mean, I remember was it 35? You ref probably 20 of those matches. We had like 40 matches. You ref easily half of them. And I remember we were cycling people out as much as we could because it was just crazy, man. It's so crazy. So yeah, let's jump into Street Beast West Coast 45 now. A couple days ago, I had some new guys, Amazon John and Junior, and they're not new, but they're kind of new to competing. You know, Amazon John, that was kind of his first. That was his first Street Beast West Coast fight. So, um, yeah, what did you like? What did you? I know you watched that. What did you think about the difference between, like, what do you see the difference between a debut fighter and the fighters that you see regularly? You know what I mean?
Mm. Uh, I didn't get to see his fight, Amazon John's. I didn't see it because I got there after his fight.
Mhm.
But typically, right? Typically, you can see the nerves, you can see the thoughts going through the head.
Mhm.
Um, sometimes you can, I mean, you can feel the aura, the energy. You know what I'm saying? And it's
My bad. I thought
different
I had to sneeze.
because, huh?
Sorry, I thought I had to sneeze, so I snatched my headset off real quick. My bad.
Yeah, you can see, or I can see how a new fighter comes in and they basically get the treatment, right? And by the
Mhm.
end of their fight, they understand what this really is. You know, sometimes people get it and they're fans and they show up, and then sometimes they just heard about it and they have an opportunity to fight, and they take that fight, not knowing the community, not knowing backstories, not knowing, what's being built, behind the scenes until,
Yeah.
damn, this isn't what I thought it was going to be. You guys are
I
cool.
hear
Let's
that a
take
lot.
pics. You know
I
what I
hear that a
mean? Like,
lot. Oh, very much so. Very much so. Like you
yeah,
hear probably a lot of the very similar stuff that I hear in the sense that like they come in and they think, at first you can see a lot of guys, the nerves, and then they're like mad dogging a little bit. They're sizing people up. And then
yeah,
their opponent, you link them up. Hey, what's up? This is who you're fighting, blah, blah, blah. And they start chopping it up a little bit. And then after the fight, they really chop it up. And
yep,
you see the community build itself like live right in front of you. It's such a dope situation. Um,
exactly.
yeah, and I've always wanted to ask you this next question, but I haven't yet. And I've waited to ask you live. Who is your favorite fighter to ref? Who's your favorite fighter that when you see in there, you were excited to ref their fight?
uh, Usually in those situations, I'm cornering. So,
Well
yeah,
played.
yeah.
Well
I,
played.
I
Okay.
I really, especially in the early years, at this
Mhm.
point, I kind of don't have an option. But in the early years, if I favored someone, I wouldn't ref the fight,
Yeah.
because I
Okay.
knew there's a potential bias. You know what I mean? After so long, it just became second nature, and it's like, go and do your job.
Yeah.
But yeah, bro, I can't say I have a favorite fighter to ref, but I do have, my favorites in general, as
Okay.
far
Well,
as
who's your favorite fighter? Should be
I
West
don't have
Coast.
a number
Okay.
one. I don't have a number one. It's
Okay.
just kind of a
Top
collective.
five. Give me that
Uh
top five.
I'll give you a five. I don't know if it's the top five.
It's about
Big fan of Disturbing the Peace. Big fan of
oh.
El Coyote. Big
Hmm.
fan of Earthling 7. Big fan of let me see who else we got. We got so many people, bro. I mean, when Takamura's out there, it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's so many, bro. It's so many, and it's crazy because I can't think of names are missing me right now. Darkness always
Yeah.
puts on a crazy fight. Your fights are explosive. You know what I'm saying?
How many of my fights have you repped? Like now that I think about it, how many of my fights have you repped?
Maybe two or three
Two or
because
three. Okay.
you started prior. The majority of your fights were prior to me reffing.
Nah, man. I started at Street Beats West Coast 3. I only had well, maybe that's true. I had
Because
five or
think
six
about it,
fights.
you
Yeah.
you did the fight in scrapyard. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You had uh you were more frequent
Oh, you
more
repped
so
me in
in the
Golden Arms.
beginning.
Yeah. I was. Oh, I
I
got
did
old,
Golden
man.
Arms.
I got old. You did Golden Arms. I remember that one.
You and Golden Arms and you and Canadian is what pops into my head.
Yeah.
Uh I can't think of no one else though.
Oh yeah. That might be it, huh? That blows my mind. Now that I think about it.
Hey, that might change, Wedo, man. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know if we could get him in one of those Cardio's key shirts.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
we can't.
he,
I
he
don't know if
might
we
he
can.
might he might
Me,
transform, bro.
yeah, me promoting cardio is hypocritical. As whoop. I was about to say the F word, but my daughter's in the chat. Yeah, she keeping my language straight. But yeah, it's yeah, that's crazy though. So okay, so let's jump into this specific event.
Let's get
So
it.
you came in. I think I refed the first four fights.
Okay.
Who was the first fight you ref that day? Do you remember?
Whew. I don't.
You
I
don't.
don't.
Okay.
I don't know exactly which one was first, unless like if someone reminded me, I could
Yeah.
confirm it.
So I
But
believe it was Zitro versus Royalty, if I
that
remember
was
correctly.
one of the first. It may be the first for
Yeah, I think it
sure.
was the first because Picasso and Amazon John was right. So I got it right. I got the list right here. So Bill Collector and Beardy King was first, and I did that one. Casta one versus Flacco, which hey, you didn't see that, but Casta one and Flacco was solid, man. Like Casta one, you could tell he just started training. He's one of those. He's one of those new guys that like he just kind of showed up. He wanted to scrap. He brought his family with him. Everybody was super dope. Everybody was super cool, but he just you could tell he was very very new, had his hands down. First after the first exchange he was huffing and puffing like I do, you know what I mean? So he
Mm,
was, yeah, but every time he touched Flacco he moved his whole body, crack crack, and it wasn't a lot. He
okay.
didn't have a whole high output of volume, but he was touching him. Flacco looked clean. He looked fairly crisp. He looked like he knew what he was doing, even though both of them were 0-0, he looked like he knew what he was doing. But it was a situation where when I saw that first exchange, I was like, oh fuck, man, Cast one about to get tuned up. And he surprised the shit out of me. He really, really did. Because you could just tell that he threw all the heart into it. He threw all the heart in that fight. It was
Mm.
super cool to watch. Super cool
That
to watch.
sounds dope. Sounds like
Yeah.
potential.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Shinigami. Shinigami.
yeah. So I'm gonna go through these first couple real quick, and then we'll jump into the ones that you ref too.
Okay.
Yeah, Beardy King and the Bill Collector. There was a post. Yeah, that was a good one. There was a 2-3 knockdowns. There
Y'all
was a
told me.
post talking about shots to the back of the head. I have not rewatched it yet because my son, he's been here most of the day and the last couple of days, and he's coming back from the army, so he's about to ship out overseas. So we decided to spend a little time with him instead of worrying about street beef stuff right now. But
Yeah.
we'll probably watch it tonight or maybe tomorrow. Do a little breakdown. But there was a post about some back of the head.
Hey, if it's possible, I would like to watch that myself.
Mm-hmm.
If it's
Let's do it.
possible.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, both of those guys, you guys told me about it when I arrived. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people were talking about that potentially being fight of the day. These guys going back
Absolutely.
and forth. This guy could have went down. This guy could have went down.
There was 3 or 4
So it's like,
knockdowns.
and then looking at their prior history, right?
Yeah,
I'm
because that was a
aware
rematch.
of that was a rematch for one, and
Yeah.
not only that, but both men have shown themselves to get in there and work hard, right? Bearded King, you see him training all the time. He's really, and he's eating right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. He is. He's huge. He's scary as fuck.
Right.
He looks scary as shit. Yeah.
I want to say both of these guys are two fighters that they work so hard. They've come back time and time again. You want to see them with a dub. You know what I mean? And there's very few fighters where I get in a mind frame of, bro, I want that dude to win. You know what I mean? Like finally, regardless to what the record is, you know what I mean? Like I know this person is really, they deserve a win at some point. They've been striving for it. And yeah, bro. I just want to see, I want to see
I completely feel the same way. I would love to see him get a win. And to be honest with you, just watching it from the outside, or watching it while I was refereeing it, I truly felt like it was a knockdown, an 8 count, an 8 count, a knockdown, like just back and forth. If Bill Collector hurt his elbow there, if he hadn't hurt his elbow, like he said, his elbow hurt, overextended or something like that. If he hadn't hurt it, I had that one as a draw at that point. Up until he stopped. But he turned to me. He's like, he told me he messed his elbow up, and I was like, okay. And then I said, you continue, and he said no, and so I called it. But yeah, that was But he made a post about shots to the back of the head, and I remember seeing the shots to the back of the ear a little bit, but nothing blatantly to the back of the head. But also, both fighters tend to duck. So if you're swinging at somebody and they duck, you're going to touch the back of their head. And
Yeah.
whose fault is that though? Like I really like that's a legit question I'm asking. Like whose fault is that? I would assume it's the guy who's ducking. You know what I mean? Because you should keep your eyes on your opponent, but you
Yeah.
really never. Yeah, I mean I don't know. Like a shot to the back of the head is a shot to the back of the head. You know, if you know your opponent ducks like that, throw some uppercuts. You know,
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't really know what the answer there is.
You know,
But
it can be tricky. It can be tricky. I've
Mhm,
been in situations where it was hard to tell, it was hard to call, or simply I
mhm,
missed it, because a lot of times people aren't realizing your angle and your viewpoint. You have the best
mhm.
angle and viewpoint, but it ain't always ideal, right?
Yeah,
And,
because you're not seeing
back in the,
360. You're not
yeah,
seeing 360. You still seeing you close, but you still seeing one frame. You know,
correct, correct.
it's
And,
tough to see.
there's been situations where this is part of the reason why I wanted to become a ref. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because
Yeah.
not only have I suffered from back of the head shots that weren't no one was notified. You know what I mean? I've seen countless other fighters where this happened or that happened, and it could have been avoided. And
Yeah.
me thinking I would have jumped in on that. I would have,
Yeah.
and getting that opportunity to display that as a ref, it just kind of, and even as judging, at one point I was judging as well. Sometimes I do both as well, and it's like wanting to get it as accurate as you can, knowing that you can. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And
Because we feel like we owe it to
correct.
them. You
Hmm.
good. You good. I said we feel like we owe it to them. Like I feel like I
Yeah,
owe it to every fighter that steps in the cage to do my best to be as non-biased as possible, reffing and
yeah,
protect them, as best I can. But in judging, again, be as non-biased as possible and see everything I can.
yep.
Um, yeah, it was dope. It's fascinating being in a ref for sure. Let's see who we got next. Oh,
Next fight.
Dinks and Humble Beast. So
I
this
missed
was
that one.
you. Yeah, you missed this one too. So Humble Beast is brand new. I said, who said it? Somebody said it the other day. I can't remember. Somebody said it on the podcast somewhere. Dinks reminds you. Oh, Daniel did. Daniel said it. He reminds you of DTP, but like a very very nicer version. DTP, you can tell has that like just like topographically, he's the nicest dude, but there's a
Yeah.
rage that just sits under
Oh,
that
he's
man,
got
and
the
you can see it.
switch. He's
He's
got the
got the
switch.
switch, and his hands always on that motherfucker, bro. His hands always on that switch, and
Yeah.
so, but with Humble Beast, you don't know there is a switch or not. He's just such a cool, chill dude. He really, really
Mm.
is. He's happy and he's smiling. He's just doing his thing. And so him and Dinks got in there, and I was like, okay, I thought that'd be a solid 3 round cracking each other, but I didn't know Humble Beast could wrestle like that. Like he displayed some top tier, some Street Beast West Coast top tier wrestling. You know what I mean? He controlled everything about Dinks, ground and pound, and that was that. Like that, it was done.
Mm.
So it was a really 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 good fight. Let's see, Picasso and Amazon John. I'm not going to go too deep into that one because we had a whole podcast when we talked about that one, but that was a really really good fight. Both of them tough as nails. So the first one that you did was Zitro and Royalty. Run us
Yeah,
through that.
it
How do you
was
feel
him.
about that?
Yep.
Yeah, how you feel about that?
Real quick before we get to that one,
Mhm,
you had that podcast the other day with Amazon John, and
mhm,
just to reiterate on that, there was a huge size difference. Picasso still being willing to take on the bigger man and not be so phased by that.
mhm.
Picasso was one of the first fighters I spoke to when I got there, and Picasso was so happy that he had that fight.
Yeah,
Right,
absolutely.
like he was ecstatic to tell me about the fight. It
Mhm.
didn't matter that he lost, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah, I just thought that was really dope because it takes
Mhm.
a certain person, a certain fighter, to be able to look at it and take that perspective. Um, I'm retired, Miss Newville. I'm retired. We'll find out what the doctor says, and then that'll be the deciding factor. But
Yeah. Emma
um,
retired means he's not fighting anymore. That's my daughter. She's 7. So I just want to make sure you understands.
got you.
Yeah, and the size difference between Picasso and Amazon John was still within Street Beast standards. It's just Amazon.
Oh yeah.
They were 9 pounds apart, but Amazon's just so tall.
Right.
He's like 6'2" or some shit. No, he's a big boy. He's a big boy.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
a 180, 185, 189er that looks like a 205, 215.
Mm,
Yeah.
facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
Hop into Zitro and royalty.
So Zitro and royalty, man. A little bit of backstory, right? Before we get to that.
Mhm.
I want to say a day or two before the event, I had a little shindig at one of my spots, and Zitro came out. So
Mhm.
me and Zitro trained for a few hours, and we were under the assumption that somebody else was showing up, and he could potentially be fighting that somebody, and that somebody was
Moose?
uh, a big somebody. No,
No, not Moose.
no.
Okay. Because I know Moose had signed up, and I know those two are the same weight. Who was
Shout
it?
out to Moose, love you, bro, but we were training for someone. Let's just put
Well,
it like
just
that.
say it. Just say it.
I ain't gonna
Ain't
put
got
them
to be
out there. I
secretive.
ain't gonna put it out
Why
there.
not?
But we were under
Who
the
signed up?
impression that
Well, you ain't
somebody
got to
big
put it
was
out there
coming.
because they signed up. Well, if they signed up, then their name was up there already. So who was it? It's already
It'll
public.
come to light when it comes to light. You know what
Yeah,
I
come
mean?
on, man. It
But
ain't that
anywho,
serious. Why are you so secretive?
anywho,
You
anywho, right? So we're training, and one thing that I saw was Zitro was pretty much locking in, man. He was pretty much locked in,
Mhm.
and what I saw that day in that fight with Royalty was Royalty newcomer, correct?
So let me give a little backstory on that. So
Okay.
Royalty showed up. Now the reason why I have Royalty was 0-0. The reason why I have an 0-0 guy matched up with Zitro, who is 6-4 or some shit like that, is because Royalty, even though he was 16 years old, he fought on the amateur circuit and he had like 15 or 16 fights. So, and he was only a few years removed from that, 5, 6, 8 years, something like that. And I asked him, I said, "Do you have fights anywhere else?" And he said, "Yeah, I have these." And I have to take those into account. You know what I mean? I can't toss him in there with somebody that's 0-0 knowing he has that experience. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So yeah, so that's why he was matched up with Zitro.
And here's the thing. He gave Zitro a fight.
Mm.
Zitro had to work.
Hell yeah, he did.
There was a moment where Zitro did not have the momentum. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
had to
Yeah,
pursue. He
yeah,
had to
yeah.
pursue.
He had to come back.
And
Yeah.
the thing, Zitro doesn't get enough credit, bro, because he's not loud, he's not talkative, but he works in the ring.
He does, bro. When
Zitro
he fought
works
Tank,
in the ring.
like when he fought Tank, that was such a good fight, man. That was such a good fight. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I was like, oh, Zitro, like, cause Tank's tough, man. He
Yeah,
cracks, and
yeah.
I hate to say it, but I slept on Zitro a little bit, even myself. You know what
I
I mean?
think everyone did.
I feel bad saying that, but like you said, he's just so quiet. He hops in there and he goes to work. And
Yeah.
I think sometimes he doesn't have the cardio that he knows he should. You know what I mean? And yeah, I think we're all a little bit guilty about that sometimes. And I think
Hmm.
that's why I look at it and I go, I don't know, because I know Tank had cardio. Like when Tank fought Zitro, he wasn't even really breathing hard till midway through the third round, which
Yeah,
is fucking incredible. Like
yeah.
incredible. Yeah. So
I think Zitro manages his cardio well. It can
mhm.
always get better, and that's all of us.
Yeah.
But I think what it is knowing that, and this is a lot of fighters as well, knowing that, hey man, I'm capable and I have the confidence to
Yeah.
go out and do what I do. You know what I mean? And sometimes
Mhm.
you see in fighters, they have to kind of it's a slow burn. It takes time for them to kind of build that up within the fight. Whereas some fighters, it's a switch and it's just boom, let's go. Um, I really like that fight, man, because it was competitive. You
Mhm.
saw a newcomer come out and work. You know what I mean,
Work.
and not
Yeah.
get work. He didn't get work.
Exactly.
He
Yeah.
went out there and worked. You know what I mean?
It was a
And
good fight.
yeah, and like I said, Zitro had to put in the work to, uh, you know, to take it back. You know what I mean? To make
Mhm.
sure that, hey, this is my fight and I'm gonna win.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
it could have went down the road of a draw. You know what I mean? It
It could
could have
have.
could have went that route. My money's always on Zitro. Let's
You ain't
go.
got no money. Bro, she's 7. She ain't got no. Oh my god, she cracks me up. She is like my daughter's hilarious. Both of them, like Kitsune and Emma, they're so funny.
She got a
Yeah, yeah,
she got a piggy bank somewhere. You,
she does. She does actually have a little bit of money. She does. Um, yeah, and when I say yeah, look at this right here. I don't know what it is about Zitro, but she loves him. Loves him. Every time, is Zitro here? Is Zitro here? Is Zitro gonna be here? Yeah, I don't know what it is, but something about Zitro she absolutely loves. Yeah.
just
Let's see
genuine,
here.
man. You know, he
Yeah,
came
yeah,
out
he
and
is.
trained with us, and just a genuine guy, bro. And
Mm-hmm.
once again, he can fight. He gets
Yeah.
out there and he works. You know,
Mm-hmm. All right. I love you too, baby girl. Good night. She'll be asleep. I'll go in there and give her a hug and a kiss after she goes to bed. Let's do Mr. Go So Hard versus Servant.
I remember the names. These are two new fighters, so I would have to
Mm-hmm.
see at least
Okay, it's the
an
Mr.
image.
Go. Yeah, Mr. Go So Hard was a Mexican dude in a black tank top, and then the Servant came with Clutch. He's the white dude, probably 5'8", 5'10", something like that.
I feel like Servant went out and did some
He did.
shit.
He handles business.
Yeah.
Yeah, he handles business. Like honestly, him versus Royalty would have been a good fight too.
Mm,
But like yeah, and Mr. Go So Hard was solid. He's an 0-0 fighter, and
yeah.
Servant was also an 0-0 fighter. But for whatever reason, he just came out so much more composed than I expected an 0-0 fighter to be. You know what I mean? He really, really did.
I mean, if he's working with Clutch, that's a good working partner right there.
Hmm. Yeah, 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 absolutely. Royalty is fighting Bloody Raps this upcoming. That's good, man. Royalty nice, bro. Royalty solid. Royalty and Bloody
Yeah,
Raps would
man.
be a good fight. Absolutely is a
Yeah.
good fight.
Shout out Bloody
What's
Raps, my boy.
yeah, what's Bloody Raps record? Because I've heard his name over and over again. I don't
Mhm.
know. I
He's
want to. I watched one of his fights. I can't remember which one it was though. But he's only got 2 or 3 fights right now, doesn't he?
he's either 3-0 or 4-0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Ooh.
That's the brother to the Protestant. Shout out my boy Protestant.
Yeah.
Protestant
Yeah.
should be about
Protestant.
5-0 or 5-0, I believe, or 6-0.
So man,
3-0.
don't you have anybody else for Bloody Raps? Because Royalty he what 0-1 right now, and Bloody Raps is 3-0. That don't make any sense. I know you got just wait, find somebody else for him. Don't do Royalty like that. But
I would say look at the footage and let
yeah,
that be the judge. Don't look at the records. Look at the footage.
that's I mean that's legit. That's legit. But
You know.
the reason why I say that is Bloody Raps on the come up right now. You know what I mean? And when you have somebody that's making a name, like at 3-0, he needs a name to fight. You know what I mean? Like he needs somebody that people know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And no offense to Royalty, but he's got one fight here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I get that.
Yeah. Yeah, my man's Morgan, the dark horse, the heavyweight division. Yeah. Who are the best 205-pound boxers and street beefs? All I hear about is heavyweights and lightweight guys. 205, I mean, let's see here. I mean, 619 does fight in that 205 division, although he hasn't been 205 since high school. And he was probably 16, 17 when he was 205. And then let's see, who just fought? Bigfoot, Sega. These two guys crack. Those guys are both 205, 208. Who else we got? We got a couple. Who else? Shit. Oh, me. So I wouldn't say I'm the best, but I do fight in that division. I'm definitely not the best.
Facts. Facts.
Golden Arms in there. You
Golden
know what I mean?
Arms. I believe Hitman. Uh,
I feel you.
yeah. Uh, the Maniac's a little lighter.
The Domaniac's a $190. He's
Yeah.
$190, $185. Yeah.
I gotta check with my boy, see what's going on.
Yeah. The Maniac, he's locked up right now.
No, I know, but
Yeah.
see where we at with that.
Yeah. No, I feel you. Yeah. I haven't heard from him at all.
Yeah.
Let's see who we got. Deploy and Super Gremlin. That was a banger too. Now, can we just talk about like we all love Super Gremlin? He's a staple, but Super Gremlin is very, very Zitro-esque. He's a quiet dude. He steps in the cage. He handles his business. You know what I mean? You don't see him. You don't see him on the podcast. You don't see him in the group chats. Slanging and banging and everything like that.
Yeah.
But
Even at the event, he's kind of, just
he's super
reserved.
chill. He's super chill.
Yeah.
And when I told him, I said, "Hey, I got this fight. This is all I got for you." He's like, "Yeah, man, that's cool. Whatever." He's just super chill, bro. I like Super Gremlin.
Same.
So yeah. But
But I'm not gonna lie to you. Deploy is a dog.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
bro.
Like I've been a fan of Deploy since the first Deploy fight. You
I'm
know,
saying,
and
what? Hey, whoa,
I
whoa, whoa,
had
whoa.
Deploy on my
Bigfoot.
show not too long ago. Shout out to MMA Underground on YouTube. You guys can go check out. Every week we are interviewing fighters from street beefs, amateur organizations, professional organizations as well. This is what we do.
Mm-hmm.
But
Shout out MMA Underground. Yeah, y'all
yeah,
got a dope
man,
show.
Deploy's he's a dog, man. He's a dog.
Bro, he nasty, bro. He really is. He's tough, and then he's one of those dudes that looks pretty while he does it too, and it just pisses you off, doesn't it? Yeah, he said Bigfoot Brown. I know Bigfoot 205. Silas is 205 now. That's crazy to me.
He fluctuates.
Yeah,
Silas can be
he was a
there.
bucket. Is it muscle or is it just fat now? Broly Black.
Water.
I don't think he's fighting here anymore. And the Mike 100, I think he's closer to 190, right?
180. Mike is between the 180s. He's in the 180s.
I mean, you're not wrong, bro. I don't train as hard as I should. I have started to change that. For my last couple fights, I did train a little bit more. We slowly working it up. Let me see here. 619 versus Taka. Whatever that is in May, hot box. Yeah,
Let's
y'all
go.
do you think? Sign up. Do you think? Let's run it.
Let's go.
Maury, man, I wanted to fight Broke Martin for chance to title, but haven't seen him anywhere lately. Maury was at this past event.
Yep.
I want to say he's got an injury.
He did. He came out to he came out with us to train, and
damn. Sorry, that's a great fucking matchup right there.
That's a good fight.
Great matchup. That's a
that
great
is definitely a good fight for both
Yeah.
men.
Yeah,
But yeah,
go
bro,
ahead. About Maury again.
Maury's a monster as well. Big fan of Maury. And I do want to see Deploy and Maury. Just they're similar styles, similar frames. You know what I mean? But Maury got injured recently, and he more so fights in Arizona. You got to think it's the travel. It's the travel.
Absolutely.
He came to Smoke Ranch once. I'm sure he'll be back. But let's be realistic.
That's cool. I'm gonna talk to the wife and see if Maury can ride up with us maybe in August. We'll see if we can get him in Island Strong. We'll see if we can get him in Island Strong. We'll see what we can do. Maury dope. I like Maury. I love that kid. Like I'm a big fan of Maury. From the first couple times I saw him fight, I was like, that's the motherfucker in the 125, 135 area. Like that's the dude right there.
He's a monster, but still humble.
Very humble, very humble. Super cool kid. Let's see. Dark versus Illuminate the State. Talk to me about that. What happened there?
You're gonna have to talk to me and tell me what happened there, because before that fight started, when that fight was announced, I said, "Oh." I said, I ain't gonna say what else I said, but I'm like,
yeah. Now that's a situation to where I went up to both guys and said, "This is all I have for you." The Dark's been to the hot box 2 or 3 times, not getting a fight. I want to say him, Maury, like some of the guys, the smaller guys. Sometimes it's hard to find a fight for a guy. I mean, we had Samurai Sean, Maury, Dark. Who else did I do? Scar. Those 4 guys. I rotated them several times, and I think they're kind of over that. I want to say Deploy and Dark want a rematch, but I think their size difference was a little bit this time. I can't remember. Actually, you know what? I can look it up. I got it right here. So Deploy was 136, Dark was 130. So that wasn't it. I can't remember. Maybe they just didn't want to.
Well, so again, you have to check out MMA Underground. I had both men on, and from what I'm hearing, it's more or less like it benefits one party and not the other. So until it's beneficial to both, and it's a timing thing, right? What is a rematch going to do for me? That's the question.
Yeah.
For both,
no, I understand.
What does this do for me?
I know Dark
for
wants
one party. For one party, it does wonders. For the other party,
it's like, well, yeah, I get it. But yeah, like I said, I had those 4 guys, and I was just circulating them. Who can fight who at the time, and then eventually I just run out of people to fight for them. So and I know Illuminate the State traveled, so I was like, it's all I got for you, man. You know what I mean?
But let's not be confused. Those 2 are gonna eventually meet back up for sure.
Yeah.
That's happening. Dark and a Deploy.
Yeah, they will.
But yeah, man, Dark versus Illuminate the State.
Yeah, Dark versus
I
Illuminate the State.
really, huh?
Illuminate the State need to get in the fucking gym and learn how to take a punch. Like, I'm gonna just be blunt about it. He is, he's got every advantage. He's very, very thin, okay, but he's long and he's tall. He's what, 6'2", 6'3", 6'5", some shit like that. Like, he's tall as fuck, but he doesn't
Yeah.
like getting hit. And he fought a tiny dude in Dark. Dark is, how tall is Dark? It's 5'4", 5'8", maybe somewhere in there. I don't know. He's not super tall, but a dude that's 6'2", 6'3" was so much taller. For some reason, he got down there with him. I'm like, no, no, no. Keep him out there. And I think Illuminate the State just needs some solid training and to get his mentals in, like Marauder. You remember when Marauder was just getting so beat up in his own brain that he would get sick and then he would just be like, I can't do this. I think Illuminate the State needs that mental switch to change. And I think he needs to go down there and train with 619 a little bit. I know 619's offered numerous times to train him. I think that'd be good. And just do defensive rounds. Just beat the shit out of him a little bit and let him realize it's not that bad. You know what I mean? He could take a punch if he wants to.
Yeah, I mean that would help. I also think becoming more offensive, working on being the dog.
Yeah.
It's obvious like you haven't been in that space. You haven't been in a scenario where you're beating on him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Unfortunately his foot got caught in the groove of the mat and the cage, and then he slipped into the cage. So he was compromised.
I didn't see that part.
Yeah.
To anybody whose foot got slipped in there, I am so sorry. The cage is not square, so when I put the mats down, there were 2x2, puzzle pieces, and they were square. So I'm gonna get that fixed before May, though. We'll do something. I'll tear it apart and get it fixed before May. Figure something out.
Trial and error. We now know, and that's why I was saying, after that point, every match, it was, hey, watch the perimeter, watch your feet. Or your feet. Watch your feet and watch the perimeter. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. And again, that's my bad. That's my bad. I should have, I did the match the day before, didn't even think about the squareness. And when I saw it, I'm like, I was like, I literally in my mind, I was like, who's going to get their feet that close to the corner? It should be fine.
Right.
Most people
you wouldn't expect it.
Boom. Nope. And then 3 or 4 people get stuck. And that's on me. Like, I feel bad for that. But like you said, you trial and error. Before we go, so this right here, Marauder versus Illuminate, in my mind, Marauder's past that point. Like, that's him going backwards. You know what I mean? Because we all love Illuminate the State, but he's not he's not a dangerous individual. And Marauder's become a dangerous individual to a point. You know what I mean? He's not going to go out there and beat everybody up. You know what I mean? Straight up. But I think he's gotten past that point to where his anxiety causes him to, not have a skill set. And he's showing some great Muay Thai skill out there. Like, I would love to see potentially some rematches with Marauder now in like Battleborn, Mortem, a couple of those other guys. Like, I think he'd give him a much better fight after, a couple more tune-up fights before those guys. But
the thing with Marauder is he can strike. You take away all the nerves and everything else. Marauder has striking ability.
Yeah, he's got clean ass Muay Thai. He really, really does. I can say ass now. My daughter would have been.
Illuminate the State. Like, I knew the results of this fight when it was announced. You know what I mean? And more so because Dark is super explosive. You know what I mean? Regardless to winning or losing, he's coming to fight and he's gonna fucking hit you. Oh, I'm sorry. He's gonna
No, she would have been. You can say fucking. She would have been.
He's gonna fucking hit you. You know what I mean? Like, and he's gonna be he's gonna be aggressive, he's gonna be, destructive, and that's every fight. So Illuminate, I've seen not all his fights, but I've seen quite a bit. Yeah. And
he gets touched. He gets touched. He just needs a little bit more training.
I know the record as well, and what I was going to say earlier is the only fight for Illuminate right now, and I don't even want to say this guy's name, but the only fight for Illuminate is Death Sentence.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the only
I'd
fight
love to see it though. I'd love to see
that
it.
makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But
Because both men have similar fighting styles and
Mhm.
similar attributes.
yeah, the chances of us getting death sentence out here are zero though, because
Correct.
he's broke. He's broke. So if
Correct.
we don't pay for his ticket, and we're not doing that shit again at all,
Oh
because
no,
we did it one time. Heart in the Fight, we did it
exactly.
one time, and he fucked us over. So that's not happening
Right.
again.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's see. One more, and I think we're gonna call it Prince KT versus Surgeon Throwdown Brown. Let's chop it up about that one real quick. I know we had a
That's
couple other
fire.
good fights, but I'm gonna save them for a later podcast.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that, because you repped
It's
that one.
crazy. It's crazy you said that because this week I'm having Prince KT on my show, MMA Underground on
Mhm.
YouTube, Wednesdays, 5:30 p.m. Man, it was great not only to see KT back at an event, but to see him fight. Right. You know, I could tell he probably wasn't the sharpest KT we've seen, but he
He
put
hasn't
on a
been
show,
training.
man.
He ain't been training. I don't know if you follow any KT socials, but the motherfucker been
I do.
going through it lately. Like his
Yeah.
dad passed away.
Yeah.
Him and his girl broke up. He got another girl, so that's a big change. I mean, not
Yeah.
immediately. You know, there was some time in there. But yeah, there's a lot going on with KT in his life right now, and
Yeah.
it's super good to see him back in the cage for sure. I was so happy he
Absolutely.
signed up. Yeah, I was so happy.
Absolutely. And you
But
know,
Surgeon Throwdown Brown. Oh
it didn't look like he was in his head either. You know, all
no,
the life shit can play out in the fight. I didn't see that. You know
no,
what I mean?
it
I saw
almost looked like
somebody
he
go,
needed that fight.
yeah,
It
yeah,
almost looked like he needed that fight to counterbalance some of that life bullshit, and which it was really great to see him. But Surgeon also he's solid, man. And I don't know if you know that's Flo Dub's dad.
yeah.
So
I know.
yeah, which is super cool. Like we have a dad and a son that fight streamers. I don't know if Flo coming back. He got a little upset. I didn't
He'll
have
be
anybody
back,
for him,
bro.
man.
Give him some
Yeah,
time. Give him some time. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But back to Throwdown Brown. I mean, age is nothing but a number. You
No,
know, what
he
you
was
want
doing
to
it.
do in life, you can go out and do it. You know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
he showed us. You know, he looked
Yeah.
just as good as KT out there. KT's got to be maybe half his age. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
he was slick. Both of these guys were slick. You know, showing style and shit. And it was a good fight, man. I'm ready to see that one. You know, I know it might be a while,
Mhm.
but that was a damn good fight.
Yeah, it really was. Like both of them look real good. Like I like seeing both of them sign up, and I hope they definitely. I know KT will be back. I hope Surgeon comes back. That's his second fight here, I believe. So I'd
Okay,
love to see Surgeon go up to Vegas and fight too.
that'd be great.
He'd be doing it. Yeah, he throws them. He throws them. So but yeah, you want to shout out anything MMA Underground, anything else? Give them the socials or anything before we
Man,
do.
first and foremost, man, I want to thank you for having me on tonight. I want to thank the people watching. We appreciate y'all. Phenomenal event this past Saturday. I appreciate you know, just being a part of all of this, man. And more so than anything, thank you for the pizza, bro. That pizza was fire. That pizza
Oh,
at the end of the event
it
was
was so
fire.
good, bro. It was so good. Hey, thank my wife, Heather Micklef. She in the group somewhere. Yeah,
Thank you,
she
Heather.
went. Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. We had all the kids in the house. There was like 15 kids running around the house, playing with my kids and just all doing their thing. And I turned around and she ordered pizza. She ordered ice cream, and she hooked it up for everybody, man. Like she ordered buckets of pints of ice cream for the kids, bro. It was so cool.
That's dope.
Yeah, yeah. I
That's
think
dope.
so. Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
man.
Let's see.
She's dope. You're
Yeah,
dope.
it did
The
come
show's
late.
dope. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
appreciate
And
you, big homie. Appreciate you.
lastly, check out MMA Underground on YouTube on Wednesdays. We have Prince KT on the show, and we'll be talking a little bit more about his fight. And yeah, man, that's it for me.
Okay. Hey, I appreciate you, Somke. You have a good night, brother.
Yes, sir.
All right. So I appreciate everybody tuning in. We're gonna be getting it in again here soon. Just stay tuned to the Locked In IG and everything, and then yeah, we'll see we'll see y'all later. The light skin with long hair coalition. Yeah. So, but yeah, stay tuned. We're gonna do this again for sure. You guys have a great night.